it going? A little bit of a different situation today because I'm actually not coming from the gym or going to the gym, and it's not a day off work. What today actually is I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to go do my 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift, and when I got into work, my boss told me that our truck, which has all of the product that we need on it, is not coming until this afternoon. So there was not very much for me to work on, so he offered to send me home and have me come back at 2 p.m., which is not something that I've done leaving work and coming back is, I can probably count on one hand the times I've ever done that, but coming into work at 2 is something I haven't done in a really long time, and I'm not gonna lie, not totally looking forward to it, but it is what it is. He has kids, and he was saying that he could try and figure out a way to come back and to pawn his kids off on someone, but then I felt bad about that, so I agreed to come in. So no gym in today. It is actually an off day. It's Tuesday, which is an off day, until I change my program, which I still haven't done. Don't pester me about it. Don't need to hear it. Still haven't done it. It's an off day, so no workout. I did just get a new duffel bag. Here's my exciting news. I just got a new duffel bag off of eBay. If you don't know this, look on eBay before you look on Amazon if you're gonna buy shit online. Because I'm telling you right now, everything on eBay is way cheaper, and it's not all used. eBay's not what it used to be, where it's like you bid on people's old stuff. A lot of it is like new, and it's really cheap. I had to buy a new headlight assembly recently because mine was all messed up, and I bought one off of eBay. Those things, like brand new, they go for like $1,100. Oh, okay. Yep, you go ahead, Lexus. Whatever you need to do. A brand new headlight assembly can go for up to $1,100. I got mine for $80. $80 on eBay. And it was perfectly fine. It works perfectly fine. It even had all the light bulbs already installed. So incredible deal. And I just got my new duffel bag off there. So now I can start keeping my gym clothes in my car, which is something that I've been wanting to do because I feel like I lose a lot of motivation between going from work to my house and then from my house to the gym. I'm sorry, I keep adjusting the camera. I'm on my way to McDonald's for breakfast right now. I've been meaning to start donating plasma again because I used to do that when I was unemployed. I was unemployed for a while back in 2022, and that's crazy. That feels like forever ago, but also like it just happened, and it's literally 2 full years. That's crazy. I used to donate plasma all the time. That was like one of my main sources of income when I was unemployed, but I haven't done it in a while because I was anorexic. As some of you may know, if you have watched my other videos, if you're my friend in real life, you may know that I struggled with an eating disorder, so I was very underweight, and as a result, my veins were not good for taking blood from. It's not a good situation to try and donate blood or plasma when you are severely underweight and underfed. So I wanted to go donate plasma today, so I'm trying to hydrate right now, and I'm gonna get a meal, and I'm gonna go in and see if they'll let me do it, because the last few times I've tried to do it, they were like, you can't do it anymore. But I have gained quite some weight in that time, and I've started eating really well, and I work out, which really helps with your circulation. So we're gonna see how it goes. And hopefully it doesn't take up all of my time between now and when I have to go back to work. You're just gonna have to be okay with the camera being all fucked up. I'm sorry. Something I have kind of wanted to talk about today. I know it's been a little while since I filmed, I feel like. I just started Arnold Schwarzenegger's book. I think it's called 7 Helpful Tips to Be Useful or something along those lines. I just started it literally this morning, and already I'm really enjoying it. I'm trying to, because I have been listening to a lot of memoirs, and what I'm trying to do is to not only listen to memoirs of people that I completely 100% like, and, well, I mean, can you 100% like anyone, you know? But, like, not just people that I find to be, like, good people, or, like, you know, that share every ideal and every view that I have. I'm trying to expose myself to some more perspectives that are different than my own. One of them that I actually have on hold right now is Elon Musk's autobiography. I'm not an Elon Musk lover, to say the least, but I'm interested to hear what he talks about in that book, and I'm interested to hear his perspectives on things, whether or not I agree on them, or with them, rather. I'm interested to listen to that. So anyway, Arnold has a dicey past, he's made some dicey decisions. I think everybody kind of knows that about him. He's not exactly like a squeaky clean guy. But my uncle really idolizes him still. So I grew up always hearing about him and like seeing pictures of him in bodybuilding competitions. Like, that's Mr. Olympia, that's Conan, you know. So I am interested to listen to his book and to see what perspectives he has. Now, this is not, his book is not an autobiography, but rather a sort of self-help book with some of his life stories interlaced. From what I can tell so far, it's a fairly short book. It's only like 10 chapters, I think, and the chapters are only about an hour. So, I mean, it's like the length of a mini podcast, basically. Pretty short. So far, I am enjoying it. He does say some things that the wording is not necessarily something I agree with, or the perspective feels, I don't want to say narrow-minded. The perspective sort of cuts out a lot of different categories of people, because he talks about opportunity and taking opportunity and making your own opportunities and seizing control of your life, and that you're the only one that has control of your life. You're the only one that can change your life, and anybody can do it. And I do think those things are true. I think that it is important when you're talking about things like that to factor in that not everybody is able-bodied and able-minded. People with disabilities exist, and seizing control of your life is not necessarily as plain and simple for people with disabilities. And not to say that it can't be done. And I don't think that I think that anybody can take control of their life and make a change at any time. 100%, I think that it's true. But I think the idea that, hang on, I'm about to order my food. Hi, could I just get a sausage, egg McMuffin, and 2 hash browns?
You said 1 sausage, egg McMuffin, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Do that be everything?
Yeah, that's everything.
Thank you.
Thanks. The terminology that he uses that I am really not a fan of is the word useful. He says that everybody should be useful and that you don't want to be useless. I feel like that's a very capitalist mindset, the idea that you have to be useful. And I think the way that he uses the word is more like you have to add meaning to your life. You should be meaningful and purposeful. I think being meaningful to yourself and being able to look back at your life and feel like you did something meaningful is really important, and I agree with that. But I think the term useful is not only extremely subjective, but also reduces us down to the things that we can provide either to, you know, society or like to other people. Like, what do you mean by useful? You know what I mean? It's just really not in line with the way I personally feel about the world. I don't think that you should feel like you have to be useful or that you should put that burden onto yourself, because then in turn, if you're not taking control of your life, which for one reason or another, a lot of people don't. A lot of people, like he says in the book, a lot of people let life happen to them and let it happen around them. But there's a lot of really valid reasons that somebody might do that. And I don't think that letting life happen around you or, you know, not taking control necessarily means that you're useless. I don't think that's a fair way to view it. For me personally, that's just not my perspective. But I am still really enjoying the book so far. Really, really enjoying it. Listening to him talk. Obviously, I don't have to say listening to him talk is always kind of, I don't want to say like funny, but unique. It's a unique sound. He has a unique voice. Well, I guess not really, because it's just an Austrian accent. But for America, he has a unique voice. He's a unique guy. And I really do find it motivational the way that he talks about, you know, he came from a tiny village in Austria. Like, that's where he's from. And it's not, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe his dad is some oil tycoon or something. I haven't looked into it. He didn't mention that. But from what I can tell, he came from basically nothing. And he just came up with an idea of what he wanted his life to look like. And then he made it look like that. And I think that's a really, really motivational thing, in my opinion. Thank you. Yeah, I think hearing him tell that story from that perspective of like, I was just a kid with a dream, basically, and I thought of something that I wanted and then I made it so. I think that's really motivational. And, you know, I think it helps to hear those types of stories from somebody who didn't come up with a bunch of opportunities. Like, they weren't raised with a bunch of opportunities. I mean, you know, their parents didn't have the money to put them through the most prestigious schools. They didn't have the connections to, you know, get them involved in whatever industry they were successful in. Like, because for me, not to say that I didn't have a lot of opportunities or that I didn't have people who believed in me necessarily, but it's less about that and more about my parents didn't have a ton of money. You know, they didn't have any ins with an industry where I could get footing and get started with my life. I came up from two working class parents who didn't graduate high school, didn't go to college, they got their GEDs later in life. My mom didn't work for 12 years. I mean, she was a stay-at-home mom, but she didn't have a job for the first 12 years of my life. Whatever perspective someone might have on the way they treated me or the way that I was raised is irrelevant. It's not even about that. It's just more about I didn't grow up with all of these things handed to me. I didn't have all of these opportunities. My parents couldn't afford to put me through fancy schools. They couldn't afford to, you know, give me the opportunities that some other kids had. I didn't have a college fund, you know, I didn't have all this fancy shit that some other kids might have had. And my dad didn't even have a business or a career where he could introduce me or that I would have been interested in being introduced to. So, you know, Matthew Perry talks in his book about how his dad was an actor and how that paved the way for him to be able to start acting. And even though his dad wasn't a super successful actor, like, you know, he wasn't a millionaire or anything like that, but he did have ins in Hollywood, that gave him a lot of opportunity to be able to introduce himself into Hollywood. And, you know, he might not have been who he was without that. And same with Ronda Rousey, whose autobiography I just finished. Loved that one. That was a great one. She was really young when she wrote it, and she's actually writing a new one right now. So I'm really excited to read her new one when that comes out. If you hear like a squeaking noise while I'm driving, I literally don't know what that is. I'm sorry. It's annoying me. So hopefully it's not annoying you. But Ronda Rousey's mom was a judo fighter. And so that obviously gave Ronda a lot of opportunities to become a fighter. And it gave her a lot of motivation. It gave her a role model. It gave her a lot of things. And again, none of it was handed to her necessarily. Like, I don't think that, and you know, I wasn't there for her childhood, so I don't know. But it wasn't handed to her. She did work very, very hard for it. But it's a different story when somebody has opportunity and a way into the field that they're talking about that they were so successful in. Versus for my life, I have had very little direction pretty much my entire life. And I have not really had anybody in my life that I was like, I want to model my life after you. I really look up to you, and I want for my life to look the way your life looks. Should I take you into the Maverick with me? Let's go into the Maverick together. Is that weird? Hopefully nobody stops me. Let's go. I kind of want a second coffee, but I definitely don't need one. Maverick water is better than other water. There's your pro tip for the day. It's really snowy today. I didn't know that it was. Focus on me. There we go. I didn't know that it was going to snow today, but it's quite icy. It's quite chilly. Not really a fan. It was so springy yesterday. The weather all weekend was really, really nice. which is lucky because it was my anniversary with my girlfriend. And so we got a chance to spend some time outside, and we got to go on a walk in the park, and it was brisk, but it was really nice. So I'm grateful that the weather waited until after the weekend so that we could do that. Crisp. What is this McDonald's thing? Does anybody know what this is? What does this mean? Is it from an anime? What is that language that's on there? Is that Korean? That's not Japanese, is it? I thought it was an anime. Isn't anime Japanese? But I don't know what Japanese looks like. I don't think it's Korean. Anyway, because I personally did not grow up with a bunch of privilege, I did not grow up with a bunch of opportunities, it's very motivational for me to hear stories from the perspective of people that did not grow up with that. And Arnold talks about how he was literally just a kid in Austria in his tiny little village that he grew up in. Oh my God. No need for that, Parker. Jesus Christ. And he literally just had a dream. Like, he was just like, I want to go to America. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what I want to do there, but I want to go to America, and that's what I want to do. And in the 60s, that was a pretty common, that was a much more common thing, I think, for the American dream to be, you know, the ultimate goal, the ultimate thing. So I don't know that I would necessarily, what am I even fucking saying? He was basically just a kid that wanted to come to America. That's the whole story. And he did. And every part of his life that he had, every success that he had, he visualized it, and then he worked for it, and he got it. And that is just like so incredible that, you know, you don't come up from all of this money and all of this, you know, this wealth of opportunity and parents who can get you started in an area. You just fucking do it. That's really great. And that makes me feel like, well, if Arnold Schwarzenegger can do it, if he can do it, why can't I do it? You know? Am I any different than some child in Austria with a dream? I don't think so. The only difference is I'm already in America. I don't have to get on a boat. I don't have to get on a plane. I'm already here, which is, you know, whatever opinion you might have about that. There's nowhere for me to fucking park. So anyway, I've just been thinking about my dreams and my goals and what I want, and that's been on my mind this morning. And it's hard because, you know, who fucking knows? I'm 24. Like, who knows what I want? Who knows what my goals should be and what I need to start to do to be able to achieve those goals? I don't fucking know. I don't know what I want to be doing in 5 years, let alone 10 or 15. I don't know what career I want. I have an idea that I want to cut hair. And I've had that idea for 8 years now. Gee, oh God, Lord. I've had that idea for a really long time. And I do want to do that. And I really enjoy doing it. And I'm interested to learn more about it. And I think that I could be really, really good at it. I'm not interested in having my career be the most fulfilling part of my life. Because I think the fact of the matter is that can only be so fulfilling. And I think it's important to find fulfillment in areas of your life where you're not making money. Areas of your life where maybe you're not the best. And it's okay that you're not the best. You just work at it and to get better at it. And because you enjoy it. And for no other reason. I have my McDonald's. I got 2 hash browns and I got a McMuffin. And I'm about to fuck this shit up. I'm about to fuck this up. Loves it. I didn't realize how hungry I was. The first step that Arnold talks about in being useful, what he calls useful, is to start broad with your dreams. Start with something broad. So he started with, I want to go to America. And then he made little goals and slowly zoomed in on how he was going to achieve that and what ultimate goal he had in that. And the way that he found his goal was childhood, like through his childhood and his very first dream that he ever had, according to him. And I thought about it and I was thinking, what was my very first dream? What was the very first thing that I really wanted to do? And the answer is singing. The very first thing that I ever wanted to be was a singer, was a musical artist. And guitar is cool, and I want to do that. I want to learn how to play instruments. But the truth is, my first ever actual dream was to be a singer in a band, or to be like a famous, like Britney. I wanted to be like a famous singer. And I think it's true, at least for me, what he said about, you know, your original dream is what you really want. And I really genuinely want to make music. And I realized when I told my girlfriend that the other day that people in my life now don't even know that about me. That I really wanted to be a singer when I was a kid, and that was like my ultimate goal. And that I was pretty good at it. I wasn't like, you know, I was no prodigy by any means, but I was a pretty good singer, and I was in choir for a few years, and I was really passionate about it. And I got stage fright pretty bad. I could sing really well when there wasn't pressure, but then when there was pressure, like I was not that good at it. And the class that I was in, it was in junior high, like, you know, it wasn't some elite program. But the class that I was in was just not suited for what I wanted. And so I quit. And after I quit in junior high, going to choir class, I gave up on singing altogether, basically. And I do it for fun. I'm always singing. I'm literally always singing. And when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, into my adulthood, I would walk around belting all of the time. When I was in junior high and high school, I would literally walk around singing at the top of my lungs in the hallways because I love singing and I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. And I'm always singing, and I'm always listening to music in my car and screaming to music in my car and talking about music. I'm really passionate about music. I collect CDs because I like having physical music. And ever since I listened to Dave Grohl's autobiography, I've been thinking a lot about how I want to make music and how that is something that is really important to me. But I've always been scared of being bad at it. I'm not a person that is good at committing to something that I'm not already good at. I'm not a person who's good at being consistent, or I haven't been good at that in the past. But I think with going to the gym and with how consistent I've been able to be with that, I mean, even lately I've been really demotivated. Lately I've really not wanted to go, and I have skipped a couple days, which I hadn't done in months. But despite that, like, I'm still making it there. I'm still doing it as many times a week as I can, and I'm making progress. And if I can do that on days that I don't want to, why can't I do other things on days that I don't want to, so that I get good and so that I am successful at them? If anybody else can learn how to play guitar when they're 24 years old, why can't I learn to play guitar? Why can't I learn to write music? Why not? Why have I limited myself my whole life? Being supported in your dreams helps a lot. And having people that you really trust believe in you helps a lot for you to be able to achieve your goals. But it's not necessary. And whether people support me or not, can do it. I know that I can. But I do have people who support me, and I have people that I know that if I was like, I want to make music, they would be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'll listen to your music. Like, you should do it. I would really like to stop just thinking about it and start doing it. We'll see how that goes, I suppose. Here's McMuffin. Looking delicioso. Oh my fucking well. Lately, I've been wanting one of these literally every single day. So fucking good. Yeah, so that was kind of what I wanted to talk about, was just like getting motivated to like set goals and to like work toward them, and to like start with small goals. And like Arnold said, starting with goals that are achievable and that make you feel good when you achieve them, and just working toward those every day. And then eventually, you know, you can start to work toward bigger goals, and you can look at your life and feel like you're achieving the things that you want, and to never feel satisfied with achieving one small thing or another small thing, but like to let it make you want to achieve bigger things, and to not stray from your goals, and to not settle for less than what you actually want. And that's all very easily said, isn't it? But, you know, I have faith that once I finally get off my ass and start doing the thing that I want to do, that it's going to be great, and I'm going to be great at it. And I just need to get past the fear of being bad at it, because you have to be bad at something before you can be good. That's the way that it is. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope that I can donate plasma today. That would be That would be gnar. That would be sick. If you're interested in keeping up with more of my life, my Instagram is queer.edge. My TikTok is queer_edge. I've started posting my audiobook reviews they're in my highlights on my Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm interested to see how long this is going to be after I cut out all the shit that is not going to be interesting. But thanks for listening to me talk. And I'll see you whenever I film another one of these. All right, bye-bye.